Once again, we are proving to people how ignorant, uneducated, and absolutely stupid we are as a collective. I hate to say it, but this is the truth. You have some debate going on online about whether 100 human beings could beat a male silverback gorilla in a fight. This, I assume, is a fight to the death where 100 human beings would be pitted with a single male silverback gorilla. And there are actually people who are dumb enough to argue that the gorilla would beat that group of 100 human beings with ease without barely breaking a sweat. In this video, I will prove to you that it is there is no way possible that a single male silverback gorilla can beat 100 human beings in a fight to the death that are determined to kill that gorilla. There is no way this can happen. I mean, a male silverback gorilla couldn't even beat 100 midgets. That's how confident I am that there's no way one single silverback gorilla could beat 100 human beings. I'm going to give you the most obvious numbers. Okay, so a silverback gorilla is estimated to be 4 to 10 times stronger than a human being, right? So let's say if the average human being can lift 100 pounds, that means the average gorilla can lift 1,000 pounds. That's simple math. It's estimated that a male gorilla can lift about 1,800 pounds. That's a little bit under 2,000 pounds, a little bit under a ton, right? Okay. First and foremost, there are human beings, many of them, who are at least half as strong as a single male silverback gorilla on their own. I'll give you some examples. Eddie Hall, competitor and world's strongest man. His heaviest lift is around 501 kgs. That's about 1,100 pounds. Right next to him, you have Thor Jorgensen, who is also lifting 500 kgs, which is 1,000 pounds. Next, you have Mario Pujanowski, Brian, I think his last name is Shaw. He's also right in that realm when it comes to the world's strongest men. So when you look at the world's strongest men competition, there's like 20 dudes competing in the main competition. There's like a couple hundred people who compete in world's strongest men competitions all over the world every year. That's what they do for a living. If you just take those guys, they would utterly dominate a silverback gorilla because their combined strength would be 20 times that of a single male silverback gorilla. But let's make it regular, people. The average man, data says, can lift about 150 pounds. Or let's just, for the sake of math, let's move it up. The average man can lift about 200 pounds, right? If he's really trying, adrenaline is pumping, all that, average man can move about 200 pounds. Now, take that and multiply 200 by 100. I know a lot of y'all failed at math. We all went to public school. I get it. That's 20,000 pounds. So if a gorilla, maximum strength for a single male silverback gorilla is only about 1,800 pounds, well, guess what? 100 men would have 10 times the strength of a male silverback gorilla. And this is not even counting men who could lift 250 pounds, men who could lift 300 pounds, men who could lift 400 pounds, men who could lift 500 pounds. I'm a man that when I bench press, I can bench press 500 pounds. I get up once. I can lift it. I can squat 740 pounds, even at my old age now. I'm 39. There are men who are smaller than me who are actually stronger than me. There are men who are bigger than me who are way stronger than me. There are men my size who are at least as strong as me. We're not even counting those dudes in the group of what? 100 human beings that would be going after one male silverback gorilla. That's just the statistical or mathematic aspect that shows you how ignorant people are. Now, let's go to the second aspect. All one would have to do to understand the comparable strength and fighting ability of a silverback gorilla, right? He's not fighting like the video games. This ain't Primal Rage. This ain't Bloody Roar. This ain't none of those video games you play where this ain't Donkey Kong where the gorilla's jumping all over the damn place and he's like a ninja. No. In the wild, the only threat to a male silverback gorilla is one animal, and that is the leopard or jaguar if you're in the rainforest. That is the only animal that has been known on record to consistently kill male silverback gorillas. So it is other than alligator or crocodiles, the jaguar is the only known predator that preys on male silverback gorillas. Usually the jaguar is coming from the top, a tree or something. He's diving on the male silverback, getting him behind the neck, biting his spine, something that will incapacitate him, right? At the end of the day, jaguars only weigh 200 pounds max. They're not like 500 pounds, 1,000 pounds. They're 200 pounds at their heaviest, right? A male leopard or jaguar, whatever term you prefer. If a 200-pound leopard using stealth and leverage and striking at kill spots can kill a male, full-grown male silverback gorilla, or a crocodile can grab a silverback gorilla, drag him into the water, drown him and consume his body, what do you think 100 human beings who are obviously stronger than a 200-pound leopard or jaguar, that's not even close. A regular human is as strong as a jaguar. The difference is they have claws and they have fangs and all that stuff. But when you compare the combined force and strength of 100 human beings, we haven't even got to the point of their weight, their individual strength, their speed, their intellect, which is what really separates us from the animals. We're way smarter than them, so we can strategize. One can reasonably assume that a silverback gorilla would be short work for a group of 100 human beings. Another thing that I considered is, look at all the wars human beings have fought over time. We started off fighting with our bare hands back in our prehistoric days, before we evolved to the point where we can use weapons, right? At that point, we actually hunted creatures by overwhelming them. We had not discovered agriculture, so we had to find prey, overwhelm it, and kill it, right? This happens. This was a frequent occurrence back in prehistory, right? So when you're looking at the people who are saying, oh, that gorilla would throw one punch and he wipe out 10 people. Bro, so the gorilla has an unlimited stamina bar? He's never going to get tired? He's going to be able to fight in front of him and behind him at the same time? Dude, he's a gorilla, not an octopus. He ain't a bird where his head could turn around, almost 180, almost 360 degrees. That's not the way this works. This is real life, not fantasy. On top of that, one would have to consider the nature of a gorilla, just like all other wild animals. Any wild animal, when it is faced with superior numbers, its first mind is to retreat, right? Gorillas in the wild, if they detect human beings, male silverbacks, if there are many human beings, like 10, they run. They don't charge, they run, because they understand it's more of them than me. And an animal operates on self-preservation above all. An injury for an animal in the wild could be the difference between life or death. A male lion, one of the strongest animals on earth, when confronted by 10 hyenas, he retreats. 10 to 12 hyenas, he's going to run away. Why? Not because the individual hyenas are stronger than him, but combined, the hyenas will maybe may be able to overwhelm him, or they might be able to strike at vital organs and kill him. There's a video on Discovery Channel of a male lion. He's one of two who are the leaders of a pride, and they control a big piece of territory in Africa. The male lion gets separated from his brother, and while he's separated, wandering off on his own, he actually gets confronted by a group of hyenas. There's about 20 hyenas in the group. He almost gets killed. He actually sits down in the middle of the grass, and he's sitting down, looking around, trying to swipe at hyenas as the hyenas attempt to attack his testicles, which the hyenas know would be a death blow if that lion were to get a hold of his testicles. They could rip his stuff, his they can do strike a fatal blow to him, and he will be dead. Guys, gorillas, males especially, they have testicles, guys. A gorilla has weak spots just like every other organism. He's not made of steel. He wouldn't even feel you if you punch him. It's just a bunch of romanticizing rooted purely in ignorance. And all of this got started because some white guy was trying to sell an AI tool. And black folks saw it. Oh my God, 100 humans versus a bunch of one gorilla. That to me though, it speaks deeper. It speaks to like this lack of confidence that I think it has permeated the black community. When you entertain idiocy, stupidity, with questions like, can 100 humans beat a single male silverback gorilla? It just tells me that you have very little confidence in your ability as a human being, and you know very little or just don't understand. You lack understanding when it comes to the context in which human beings went from a very weak species on Earth to the dominant species on Earth. We didn't just get here by accident, y'all. We didn't just get to the point where we can go out and dominate nature and pretty much go wherever we want and not have to worry about nothing anywhere on the planet because we're weak. We didn't get there because we didn't know how to work together to achieve a goal. We got here because we used our brains to strategize. That mixed with our numbers, we were able to take over this globe as far as animal life is concerned. Another thing you need to consider, there are many small animals that in groups can dominate a larger animal. Look at, for example, the honey badger. A honey badger is a relatively small animal, but a honey badger is one of the most dangerous animals in the world. They regularly fight lions. They fight hyenas. It's small. Honey badger is probably about not even 40 pounds. Small, short limbs. They fight lions. They fight hyenas. They fight cheetahs. They fight any type of animal that's in Africa, right? Because why? They're tenacious as hell. They also are incredibly smart. See, their brain power is extremely high, even greater than that of a lion or a hyena. Honey badgers, it was very hard to keep them in zoos for a long time because they would constantly escape, no matter what type of enclosure you put them in. So when it comes to nature, the greatest determining factor over who wins in a fight is your brain. And the human brain is greatly, it's considerably larger than the brain of a gorilla. A gorilla ain't even thinking like a human. He might rush and a gorilla might go in and just focus on one person to try to get that one person because that's the way his brain processes information. Well, while he jumps on that one person, the other 99 people are beating on him, hitting him in his back, hitting him in the back of his neck, in the back of his head, kicking him in his testicles, just going crazy on him. He's going to be dead. Guys, human beings kill other people by just trampling them during holiday shopping season, or during scrambles, like when shooting breaks out or something like that, stampedes. I just don't see any way, unless these human beings are incredibly weak or they're just like disabled or something. I don't even see a male silverback, remember it's a single male silverback gorilla, even beating 100 midgets. I'm thinking 112-year-old kids could probably take out a male silverback gorilla at this point. I mean, if they're strong kids. Grown men, I'm talking about dudes, John Jones, Eddie Hall, Half Thor, Mario Pujanowski. Let's go and get all the boxers, Riddick Bowe, Mike Tyson. Let's get all the jiu-jitsu fighters who are 250 pounds, who know about leverage and how to throw on a rear naked choke and how to use leverage to dominate an opponent that's bigger than them. Yeah, I don't think that gorilla stands a single chance. And I think anyone who says that gorilla is beating 100 human beings, they're just incredibly ignorant. Thank you for watching this. Until the next time, peace.